How much real-time visibility do you have of the application development environment in your organization? And thanks to everyone who replied to that. And here are the results. So listen up, chaps. I'll be interested in your views. How much real-time visibility do you have of the application development environment in your organization? 20% said none. No visibility at all. 73%, nearly 3/4, said 1 to 40% is how much visibility they felt, so under half. A mere 7% said 41 to 60%, and nobody said that they had more than 60% visibility on their application development environment inside their organization. Chaps, what do you think of those results?
I mean, it's sort of encouraging and discouraging at the same time. I think it's encouraging in the fact that people sort of have a realization of the problem landscape, of the issue, I think. The other thing might be that it might not be easily available, right, or easily visible. So that might be another angle to this story. But I mean, it's, hopefully a base to build off of, but yeah.
That's a positive view, isn't it? Keiron, are you surprised? 1 to 73%, 3/4 said 40% or less visibility.
No, I think it's a reflection of how teams are still siloed within organizations. That ubiquitous single pane of glass for everybody isn't going to exist across every team. And as teams change their development methodology, moving to agile and DevOps, they are collaborating more and they're utilizing tools to have this kind of single look, so different teams can look at how the application is being developed. But that's not too surprising, no.
And Jim, 0%. I think it was 20% of people said they had no visibility at all. Just a sad reflection on the times.
I'm grateful for everyone's self-awareness.
Okay, well, I think that sums it up pretty well. So, well done everyone who voted for that. We have another poll which I want you to participate in. It is this. How much do you agree with this statement? My application security stack is completely integrated into my app development lifecycle. Do you strongly disagree with that? Do you somewhat disagree? Do you somewhat agree or strongly agree? So the question again, my application security stack is completely integrated into my app development life cycle. Let us know and we will look at those results later. Now, while I've been burbling away, people have been buzzing along, sending us some questions. We've got time for a few questions here. Let's go and ask some of these right now. We've got one which has come in from someone called Anonymous. And Anne writes, with a developer skill shortage, are we seeing a reduction in the quality of app coding and therefore increased issues leading to more security risks? So is there a problem simply with staffing? We haven't got enough developers with the right skills.
I think that's across the board, really, within whether it's in development, in security, in NetOps. And I think that's why, when we talk about machine learning and artificial intelligence, we're leaning on those types of tools a lot more these days to help us, move at scale, because it's just, it's hard to do when you've got very few skilled people.
Yeah, and I think to Jim's point earlier, it also leads to an increase in use of third-party code, right? So you want to develop something and deliver something really, really quickly. So I'm not suggesting that's taking shortcuts, but it does increase the pressure and it does open up new avenues to attack by using some of these third-party code blocks.
Okay, great. And we've got another question here. Jim, I'll give this one to you first. The NCSC are advising us to be extra vigilant at this time because of the risk of foreign cyber attack. I can't imagine who they mean. If you could suggest one measure to take, what would it be? Well, that's a bit of a toughie, isn't it? One measure.
I feel like it's self-serving to say external attack surface management, but I'm going to say that. With the CyCognito platform, one of the advisories that we provide as part of exploit intelligence is actually looking at threat actors. Specifically, I'm going to name them Russian state-sponsored threat actors that are acting against certain vulnerabilities right now. And you can see those things in your attack surface. So you start with the external assets that are going to be facing those threat actors, and you secure them first.
Keiron, any suggestions on one measure you
One
could take?
thing, that's it, apart from unplug yourself from the internet.
Or move all your servers to Russia.
That's it, yeah.
Maybe that's maybe that's a great idea.
That'll flummox them, yeah.
Yeah,
That is what we call risk avoidance, Keiron.
Probably one of the key things is to start monitoring what's going out from your organization, not just in. You know, if these vulnerabilities are going to be popped, they may have been popped 6 months ago, 18 months ago, and they're sat there just silent, waiting to be triggered. You know, now could be the time that they want to leverage that asset. You know, these vulnerabilities are in effect, tools for whether they be nation state or other hackers to use and sit on and use at the right time. You're only really going to know what's happening on the inside when it starts calling out. So I think that would be my top tip.
Filip, any thoughts on this?
I think to keep with the Russian analogy there, like you don't have to outrun the bear, you just have to be quicker than your neighbor essentially still. So I think look at the basics and make sure that you're a harder target than everybody else. But with these APT types of actors, it's going to be a real challenge. So, but start with the basics, I would say.
Okay, I think we've got time for at least one more question right now, which is, what are the main security threats surrounding APIs? What do hackers look for as a weakness in an API? That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think so. There's an independent body, right, called the OWASP, and they published sort of the OWASP Security Top 10, last published in 2019, I think, so due for an update soon. But there is a well understood list of sort of attacks that people are looking for and trying to exploit. So that is a very good starting point to sort of start your security journey when it comes to APIs. So I would definitely start there, but there are things in there like a broken object level authorization, which is one that we talk about a lot, which is very difficult to protect against with traditional security tools. So that's definitely something that warrants a bit more attention.
Okay, one more question with a. Hang on. Oh yes, here we are. How can we help our employees understand the need for vigilance is so important, whether at work or indeed at home, without scaring them? Should we be scaring them? Jim, are you scaring the blighters in your company?
I certainly know that we are keenly aware as a vendor that we need to be extra diligent about our, or vigilant. Well, anyways, we need to be extra diligent about our email correspondence and things like that, you know, making sure that we aren't spear phished. If it has a sense of urgency, don't click on it, things like that. So I hope that we're not spreading fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's much more about having confidence that you know enough to close those paths of least resistance that, Keiron was talking about.